So this is my day one build for Crota today. I think I'm playing Titan. It's just the most comfortable. I can play Hunter as well if we need a backup, but we're going in with three Titans, two Warlocks, and a Hunter. And I'm just down to play anything. I build SAP on all of them, but Titan is my main focus. And yeah, so the first build that I was going to run was Banner of War, Syntheseps, Fletcher Storm, and then they've now disabled it. So what I'm doing now is I'm switching it to Into the Fray as you would before, um, with Generation, Fury, Warding, Transmutation. Um, you don't need Impact Induction because I don't know. The grapple comes back really quickly too, especially if you're shooting stuff. Um, it's pretty simple. The surges, I don't know why this is here. Yeah, I should probably switch it. I don't know, something like that. I'll save that. Just so. Um, this mod on Strand is really good. You have really good uptime on your rally. Just keep spamming them for orbs, and then it's just a big gameplay loop. Strand Titan is just the best. I don't know. There's no downside to it really. You have crazy melee damage, even with that Banner of War. People sleep on Fletcher Storm, and I don't know why. It's really good. Um, this is like what I'll be running for probably bosses maybe. Um, and yeah, that's this build. There's not much to it. I probably would run this is maybe if I was running for Abyss, you run something like Heritage, Sunshot like this, and then we'll go into Solar in a second. But these are the sort of things that I'm bringing in. This is probably my and a 1-2 punch shotgun is key because this gets buffed a lot by it. It's quite hard to activate, but I don't know, it's very forgiving, I think. Um, so that's that. Let me go to my solo build. So this is the same thing where you're basically just melee, heal, and you just don't die. Really, just it's impossible to. Run tower barricade, toast you. Throwing hammer, healing aid, sunspots, roaring flames, ashes, torches, solace, Empyrean. Um, now you run impact induction because, well, obviously if you're meleeing everything, get grenades back. Reserve stacks and stacks. Special finisher because you're always gonna have armor charges and stuff like that, and then time dilation and all that type of stuff. And I'm just running weapons I like. I think Forerunner is pretty good. I mean, he's good for mages, good for basically anything. It feels like a primary. I just use it like a primary, so I always pair it with like forbearance. Um, just pull that over too. Alright. Um, I think this is probably going to be the strongest build. And then I have messed around with Stronghold, and I'm not too sure if we're going to be running Stronghold, and I need to build more into it. And if we are, I'm just going to switch to Stronghold, keep all of the fragments the same, just keep the exact same except those for Stronghold. Don't overthink it. Then I got Void. This is this is probably the strangest build because I ran this exact same for other just other raids I've done, like not as day one and then GMs too. I wish I had a bit better stats, but I don't really know. I've seen people who have better stats, and honestly, the uptime seems pretty similar. So then I'm running Rally, Strafe, Shield Throw, Vortex, Bastion, Demolition, Starvation, Undermining, Persistence, Provision. Um, then here are the mods. These two work hand in hand with each other because you're constantly throwing nades, stuff's exploding, melees, the shield, like Captain America throwing shields all over the place, resist, void surge because of, well, them, bomber powerful traction, and that's time dilation too, or distribution actually, because this is like add clear, so I'll load out too. I don't know where I plan on using this. I really don't know. I just like it, so I kept it. Um, Now let's go over the artifact, but most of this is disabled, so I think I'm just going to run this, probably, and that's as good as it gets, because this may also be good, as I'll explain later, but obviously this doesn't work or whatever. Overload hand cannon is disabled for today, so just keep that in mind. Now let's go over my weapons. So I don't think like half the weapons I've bring into Ron were very like, I don't know, certain weapons from that I'm bringing over here, but I'm trying to try new things that they've buffed and I think are quite good. So with the Horde, I think everybody's bringing with the Horde in. It's just good. There's no downside to with the Horde. Izanagi's Forerunner, Navigator. I don't know 100% where I plan on using this, but I'm just bringing it because I don't know, I quite like it. It's quite a good, just gives woven mail, make tangles and all that stuff. Obviously I'd use that on Strand, as seen here, or actually it'd be this build now. Touch, this is single-handedly the best gun for single target, like just straight up, just shooting the boss. You have no worries, you can shoot, rapid hit, reload, etc. If I run out of heavy ammo, I am switching to touch because it's so good and there's no downside to it. Succession, yeah, it's self-explanatory. Sniper, hand cannon because I got buffed. Aegis because I like Aegis, even though I've only got that many kills on it, but trust me, I think it's great. And then a pulse because, well, I don't know, I just like the gun, so. Here, got Sunshot, Iclo Sniper, Unforgiven, Cartesian. Or I should have got a Techian, but I know other people have Techians, so it doesn't really matter. Barons, but Shoot to Loot and Trinity Ghoul. Another thing I forgot to mention, Osteo. I will have Osteo on the ready just in case, and Final Warning. Final Warning is also good for single target damage, although it requires a little bit more sort of brain. It's not as brainless as touch. I might also, I'd also recommend getting like Wishender and Arbalist ready, just in case, because obviously we don't know if there's champions. We assume there isn't, but just in case there are. And then Unstop is, what is Unstop? You're trying to Sky Rifle and nuke it. Heavies, Eager Edge, Xeno, Lament, Tractor, Apex, Predator, Galahorn, Corrective Measure, and Cataclysmic. I don't know if there's any other heavies that I'm thinking of bringing. I might try and farm for a better called Comfort, but as of right now I don't even have one with like a partially decent roll. I have one with Bipod, which I don't use, because I'd rather just use bait and switch, because I think it's way better. I don't see a time where I will need Arc. I don't think Arc Titan is good. Like, QS just isn't worth it at all, like really, because even if you Thunder Crash the boss and it stomps you or just melts you, then, well, you're dead. Even with the overshield, you might just get melted straight through. That does also remind me. This, I haven't crafted it, but this roll is great. This hand cannon is really solid. Shoot to loot, obviously shoot to loot's good. Blind and GLs as well. I'm a bit on the fence with them. I'm gonna bring one or have one marked just so I can switch to it. Speaking of which, I might just, there we are, just mark it at the top. Heritage as well. I think if I didn't speak about it, I just like slugs. I don't think Riptide is going to be good. I think Riptide was one of those weapons where it was the hype because of unstops and they could do everything. I'm not bringing Riptide. Other people are. I'm not. Um, I don't think. Back to the builds. I don't think ambient leap and suspending is even worth it anymore. It's like 3 or 4 seconds, and at that point, it's just not worth it. You might as well just kill the thing. If you're really struggling to kill stuff, then maybe. But at that point, if I was struggling, I'd just go back to solar, and then yeah. Alright, now I my builds for both Strand and Solar is I've just went like that, changed 2 mods, and that's as good as it got. Strength, I don't know, it's just easier. I can't be bothered to keep transferring stuff to have like perfect builds. It's just not as serious. I might put 1-2 finisher on my Titan, on my solar build, but there are other Titans who will be running solar, so they can always throw me a hammer. I do recommend scout rifles too, because I don't know, scout rifles are good. I brought one into Ron, and I used it throughout the entire thing pretty much, apart from Nezarec. So, Nezarec and the Planet Boss, I used it all the other times. It's just really, really good. I don't think there's... Oh, that's it. Back to the Void build. So, the gameplay loop is very simple. It was the same as the Heart of Inmost Light Stormnade build with Arc. I might build into it like this though, with Stormnades, or in this case Pulse Nades. I don't know. Like, even if you do all this type of stuff, it's just not that good. I don't know. I'd rather just play Void or any of the others. Stasis, well, I don't know. If Behemoth ever got nerfed in PvE, I would 100% have a Behemoth build, and a lot of my clanmates would too, because we are Clan Behemoth. But obviously we all can't have good things, so that's it really. The gameplay loop for this build is all the builds are simple. I think Strand is probably the hardest, but even then it's not that hard to wrap your head around. This one, you barricade, you have overshield, throw stuff, throw your toys at the enemies, pick up orb, get devour, kill stuff, more health, repeat. By that point you have your barricade, and you just keep doing that over and over again. And there's orbs everywhere, you're killing stuff. This is ad clear. I think bridge is probably where I'd use this the most actually. But if I don't, then I'd just be playing solo Strand. Is there anything else? Monte Carlo was one. That's actually a good one. I don't think Monte Carlo is worth bringing in. Well, for me, I don't know. I'm just not comfortable with it. I've used it in stuff this season, but I don't think it's gonna work in that sort of level of content. If you get what I mean, I just don't think it will. Because it's a solid auto, but if I, at that point, if I was to use an auto, I would rather just use. Let me transfer it over. Rufus Fury. Because Pugilist, Paracausal, on Strand you have a stupid amount of uptime with this thing, because you can kill stuff with your melee, tangles. These just, I don't know, you just have a lot of uptime. But the chances of me using an auto is, I just don't see it. At that point, I'd rather use an SMG, because I like them more. Another thing is, though, is just to realise that you don't need to be, like, overcomplicating your damage. Like, you don't need a complex sort of, like, you know, like this sort of thing where you're izzying, shooting this, reload. You just need to just hold fire and just shoot the boss, and they will fall down. They will die. They don't need to overcomplicate it. You don't need to do like a solo Nezarec where you're constantly switching loadouts. You just don't. You really just don't. Unless you're comfortable with it, that's different. But don't think you have to overcomplicate it. Just shoot the boss and it will die. You could just the simplest way to do it though is Izanagi, like Izanagi reload, one or two Unforgivens, Cataclysmic for the rest. That's probably the simple, or Witherhoard, or anything. Activate beta switch, and just don't overcomplicate it. Because obviously you want to get the damage out, and not waste any time. You just want to be as fast as possible. If that makes sense. Think if there's anything else that I'm missing. I don't think so. Don't think there's anything I'm missing. A lot of this build is quite good for getting supers, but this build's more for survivability. Obviously, like Devour is stupidly broken because it extends, and you have infinite Devour basically, especially when there's like trash ads like Thrall Acolytes. You have it all the time. But if I want something a little bit more safe, I suppose, I just switch to solar, and that's as good as it gets. I might switch these two the other way around, but if they're not, it is what it is, and I just won't worry about it. I don't think there's anything else. I've said that all the time, but I think that's... Yeah, I mean, yeah, as I said before, you're not going to be running Merciless, you're not going to be running anything, I say complicated, but you know what I mean, you just got to shoot the boss, just don't overcomplicate it. I don't think Levy's Breath is good either. I think Levy's Breath is shit. I don't know, it's rubbish. I don't see the point in using it. No Anarchy or Sleeper. I've just brought in heavy weapons that I'm like, these all have their purpose. Lament with Stronghold is literally God mode, because all you do is, it doesn't even matter, you can run Lament, your stats don't even matter. Like if I just this is pain, this is really painful, like, oh my days, oh my lord, oh, this is just fantastic. Alright, but basically, like, oh my days, oh my days. Like, it doesn't. These stats don't matter. It literally is so easy to play. It's unreal. I just don't think it's like gonna work. I just don't see it, unless we are soloing the boss. At the current moment, though, if it's like D2 style, the only boss that I've ever sworded on day one was Nezarec, and even then, it took us like 3 phases, I think it was, and I've never sworded a boss since, off the top of my head. I don't really, I don't know, I'm more comfortable with Strand anyway, Navi just playing more kind of support, I suppose. That's it for Titan. That's it. I mean, loader and surges and whatever else will change when they're needed. I haven't changed anything now. And that's it. That's it. Good luck, everybody, and yeah, that's it.